In 2016, Finn Bálor was unstoppable.
Balor's opportunity! Coup de grace! Finn Bálor cover! Hooks the leg! Balor's done it! Oh my gosh!
The first ever Universal Champion, the future of the WWE.
Has ascended! Coup de heel! Coup de grace! Here's the cover! Hook of the leg! We've got a new Universal Champion!
But just 24 hours later, an unfortunate injury took it all away.
I have to relinquish this title. Rest assured that when I am healthy and when I am fit and when I am ready, I will be back, and this title is the first thing that I'm coming for.
And when he finally returned, the spotlight had shifted.
He's the first ever Universal Champion, and he's back!
As Michael Cole never used to shut up about the ordinary man who can do extraordinary things, just felt ordinary. Every bit of aura he had in NXT was stripped away, and by 2019, the once magnetic superstar looked lost. He looked bored, and it seemed he was never going to reach the pinnacle he once held. He had been turned into a smiley, plain Jane babyface who seemed happy to let things just pass him by. But then, in one night, everything changed. A sudden Pele kick in NXT, a stare colder than the demon himself, and the Prince was back.
Still 4 against 3. What the hell? Oh my God! No! Oh my God!
But before we speak about that, we have to go back and think, how badly did WWE kill Finn Balor's momentum that it needed to be revived? After relinquishing the Universal title, Finn spent the next few years trying to reclaim that momentum, which wasn't helped by the fact it took them forever to give him his true rematch for the belt. And even when he did get it finally, he was overshadowed by Vince's deep obsession for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at this time. Balor had strong matches with the likes of AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley, but his character lacked direction. The good guy image became predictable and one-dimensional. He smiled, he nodded, he ate a pin, repeat itself. That's all it was.
Smile, you're on cricket. Smile, you're on cricket. Smile, smile, you're on cricket. Smile, 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 smile.
He was once even punished by Vince McMahon for simply too sweeting AJ Styles, and his punishment was being squashed by another demon in Kane. Balor has always been someone who we respect, but that spark, that aura he once had in Japan and in Bullet Club as Prince Devitt was gone by this point. We'd have glimpses of the company going in the Balor direction when they'd give him opportunities to shine. I think of his demon entrance at WrestleMania beating Bobby Lashley, or the aforementioned AJ Styles match at TLC in 2017.
Coup de grace! But the demon just did! Here's the cover! Balor is a two-time Intercontinental Champion!
Or even the time when he reunited the club alongside Gallows and Anderson. Finn Balor himself has admitted in interviews that he felt boxed in creatively. He wasn't telling stories that represented him. He was performing a script, not living a persona anymore. And as a viewer that grew up watching him in NXT and adored his feuds with the likes of Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, it was depressing to see. October 2nd, 2019, the night NXT went live on the USA Network. In the middle of an Adam Cole celebration, the lights dimmed and Finn Balor walked out, back where it all began. And suddenly, it all made sense again.
As of now, Finn Bálor is NXT.
It was a huge surprise, but what comes next shocked everyone.
Still 4 against 3. What the hell? What the hell? No! Oh my God!
Finn Balor snapped, delivering a Pele kick to Johnny Gargano out of nowhere and turning heel. The Prince was back, and so was the edgy nature we had missed for so long. It's almost like if someone has become a smiley, lifeless, bland babyface, all they need is a little bit of a heel turn to kick them in the right direction. But this time in NXT, Finn Bálor had no demon paint, no smiles, he was just a menace. The crowd didn't know how to react, but they were excited. For the first time in years, Finn Bálor felt unpredictable again. And the wider context of these times, this was right at the start of the Wednesday Night Wars against AEW. And with NXT already coming off their incredible prime black and gold run, this was the continuation they needed to take the fight to AEW. Now, of course, AEW won the war, you are correct. But even in a lot of these weeks, I still felt NXT had the strongest shows with stars like Balor, DIY, and the Undisputed Era. By the time AEW really hit their prime, NXT had already submitted defeat, moved days during the week, and was a paint splash of youth. One thing you've got to understand is this wasn't just a simple heel turn, this was a rebirth of Finn Bálor. Gone was the colorful, friendly Finn who smiled all the time and was just happy to be there. In his place stood the cold, confident Prince Devitt, the man who led Bullet Club and terrorized Japan.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
He reinvented himself through small nuances.
The Prince is here.
It was the way he walked to the ring with swagger, the subtle smirk after a win, the way he stared through the camera with confidence, and the in-ring storytelling evolved too.
Gargano trying to take a page out of Balor's playbook. Balor decimating the left leg of Johnny Gargano.
Every match was slower, more methodical, and brutal. I particularly remember Balor vs. Gargano in Portland in early 2020 as one of the standouts. This wasn't about flashy moves anymore or flashy pyro and lights, it was about sending a message. Not just in character, but to years of mistreatment in the booking on main roster. Triple H may have his faults, especially nowadays, but I think it's universally agreed that when it came to this era of NXT in black and gold, he clearly knew what he was doing, and my god was he cooking for so long. For the first time since 2016, Finn Bálor wasn't just wrestling, he was telling stories again. NXT from late 2019 to 2021 belonged to the Prince. In September 2020, Balor captured the NXT Championship once again by defeating Adam Cole. With a gnarly 1916 off the top rope, mind you.
My God! 1916! Balor to the cover! Count! We have a new NXT champion!
God, I miss NXT Adam Cole so much. Black and gold Adam Cole, black and gold Undisputed Era. Oh. Finn's title reign that followed was career defining, not because of the belt, but because of the way he carried it. He wasn't just a face or a heel anymore. He was something in between, a man driven by pride and control. His matches with Kyle O'Reilly, for example, became instant classics because they were brutal, realistic, and personal. Many called these matches some of WWE's best work of the pandemic era. In a time where crowds were gone, Balor carried the brand with pure intensity. And in comparison to a lot of weird and bad booking on the main roster during the pandemic, yes, I'm looking at Otis winning Money in the Bank at Titan Towers and then failing the cash-in because of Tucker. NXT, regardless, remained as one of the strong suits of the pandemic with Finn Bálor as its champion. When Finn Bálor returned to the main roster in 2021, he brought the Prince with him.
Yes! The Prince! Finn Bálor!
And when Edge formed the Judgement Day, it was only fitting that Balor, the man reborn in darkness, took command and jousted the Rated R superstar from the group. His leadership of the Judgement Day wasn't random, it was the culmination of that 2019 transformation. The quiet, composed Prince had matured into a cold strategist.
We're watching the ultimate betrayal. The patriarch of the Judgment Day being sacrificed before our very eyes.
Under his direction, Judgment Day evolved from what was supposed to be a relatively short-term idea into one of WWE's most dominant factions of this entire decade. Although I don't think Edge as the forefather of the Judgment Day had Carlito joining the group in mind, and especially him playing WWE 2K25 in the background of the clubhouse, but hey, who doesn't respect a good brand deal? I know I do, which reminds me this version of Finn, confident, dangerous, and ruthless, would never have existed without that heel turn in NXT. Also, another brief pause just for a bit of slander, really. Joe Smith or Jimmy Smith or John Smith's Legacy Pack, whatever his name was, just an awful commentator. No energy, no like shock, no emotion in that turn right there, just... We're watching the ultimate betrayal. Give that guy a stim shot. But Finn Balor's heel turn in NXT had trickled down into the Judgment Day era and led him to this event. SummerSlam 2023, which I can speak for everyone in saying should have been the time to right every wrong. This match was the perfect opportunity to put the world title back on Finn Balor.
Yeah, that idiot Dirty Dog, give her the win, coup de grace, heavyweight championship, kicked out by Rollins.
A new belt with a new history, a new lineage, a reinvigorated Finn Balor. This was the time to change the mistakes of 7 years prior. But alas, it was still not his time. Finn Balor's heel turn in 2019 wasn't about winning or losing, it was about identity. He went back to his roots, stripping away the polish and finding his edge again, funnily enough. Everyone loved it, and it felt like Finn Balor, even after all the damage of the late 2010s, had been saved. In the professional wrestling business where so many performers fade once the spotlight dims, Balor reminded everyone that reinvention is survival. He re-earned the respect of everybody that had lost faith in him, the trust of creative, and the aura of a main event player. Without that heel turn in 2019, he might have remained the smiling mid-card hero. And if we're being honest, the trajectory would have had him continue to be buried and released. But with the heel turn, he became one of the most enduring, versatile, and complete wrestlers in the company. Now, unfortunately, this story does not have a truly satisfying ending, because in the modern day, he still remains in the Judgment Day, although seemingly the tensions between him and Dominic Mysterio among that group will boil over soon, but Balor never did become world champion again on main roster, and he finds himself stuck in the purgatory of the occasional tag title reign. He loses a shockingly high number of his matches and eats a ton of pins, to the point where it is genuinely shocking whenever he actually wins one or multiple matches in a row. The demon which made him so unique back in the day also seems to be a distant memory after its losses to Edge and Roman Reigns. We haven't seen the demon in a very long time, and no, I'm not going to count Demonita as a demon appearance, because that just paints my point, really. This is what... And maybe most disgustingly of all, his C-Force theme is too a distant memory. Although with WWE bringing back all of these C-Force theme songs, I can only hope that in one of these weeks soon, maybe when he splits from the Judgment Day, he will bring back that perfect theme song he had for so long. He changed to I Am Danger, which is pretty cool, but now he sometimes doesn't even get a pop with that newer Def Rebel entrance. Even though the 2019 heel turn revived his career, the ordinary man who can do extraordinary things, once again, just feels ordinary.